Hey, what's good? I'm Kinell and this is Sinister Cinema, where we get deep into the guts of classics and new releases from horror and exploitation cinema. Be sure to follow us up on the socials, like Sinister_Cinema on your Twitter and Sinister.Cinema on your Insta. Yes, it is January, it is the 4th of January to be precise. First video of the new year. And I was gonna try and do some end of year wrap up thing. Didn't quite get around to it. I've had a lot of other stuff going on, and I watched a hell of a lot of stuff in lockdown over 2020, so I haven't got round to that. But I thought, rather than put off uploading something till I've got that ready, I thought I'd check something out. And there's a new film out today on Shudder, which I'm really interested in. So I'm going to get straight into watching that, and it's called Fingers. It's directed by a director I'm not familiar with, called Juan Ortiz. Don't know about the pronunciation, it's one of them. And yes, all I know about it, I've avoided any trailers, anything like that. I'm just going to go for the straight raw reactions. I've got a lot of faith in what Shudder do and some of the people involved with this, because it stars Sabina Friedman Sabina Friedman Seats. I don't know, not too sure on that one. There's someone called Amanda who has an issue with other people's physical imperfections. Going off the IMDb synopsis, hell breaks loose when Walter, a co-worker of hers, shows up to work with a pinky missing from his hand. That's a bit weird. That happens sometimes. I've worked with people who've lost fingers and stuff before. I've worked in some weird places though. Does she work in a weird place? I don't know. I'll have to watch the fucking film and tell you, really. That's the only way to go. But anyway, one of the characters who's listed as Torquay in the top billed cast is played by Jeremy Garner, who I'm a massive fan of. He's behind The Battery, which is one of my favourite films of recent years, and one of my favourites from last year's, probably top 5. Yeah, I'd say top 3. After Midnight, which is fantastic. He plays a good weirdo, very creative guy. So if he's involved, as far as I'm concerned, so far he's done no wrong. So I'm looking forward to check this out. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to watch this movie. I'm catching similar kind of like mumblecore vibes to like the Jeremy Garner's other work, like on this. You know, sort of young characters in their late 20s. What should we call it? Things mostly exposing through dialogue, not too flashy visually. It's like it's more coming through the performances of the characters, which I'm feeling a lot. You like that shit, don't you, Tone? Yeah, it's quite interesting the way the character seems to have like this sort of visceral reaction that we would to sort of body horror, to slight differences in people, and yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm quite drawn into it. Kind of getting similar vibes to like certain J-horrors like Audition, where the early part of it's quite quiet and it's mostly normal life, but something just seems to be a bit off. Something's a bit wrong. Reminds me of kind of like the first sort of half hour of Audition, where you see little sort of flashes of something that seems to be unusual, but we don't know what it is, but people's general real lives seems to be a bit off. Excellent performance by the Sabina woman. I'm really buying into like this phobia and this discomfort she has. I mean, like, it's kind of hard to relate to sort of phobias. It's kind of really hard to express that, because if you don't have the phobia, then it's not a thing for you, is it? Unless it's like the film Arachnophobia, where if you're not scared of spiders, here's a big one that's running around on fucking fire. But it's like, you know, I met people that have got really weird phobias before. I used to know a guy who had this like really bad fear of drinking straws. This is true, like, he used to work in the same building where I used to work, on the Wrexham Industrial Estate. And like, I thought my mate was taking a piss when he told me about this guy once. But nah, I met him and I went for a drink with him and some of his workmates. And she had to, his girlfriend, the lad who was afraid of straws, whenever he got a cocktail, she had to stir it for him and mix them up and take the straw out and like throw the straws away before he could pick up the glass. That's obviously rooted in something, but I don't know the guy, so I don't know what it is. But you know, phobias like this exist. and she's doing a good job of sort of getting that across in this performance. Some kind of weird experimental therapy thing going on here. I don't know what it is. I thought it kind of puts me in mind of like whatever the fuck Oliver Reed was doing in The Brood. Although, to be honest with you, I think all therapy's Oliver Reed in The Brood, because that's my only frame of reference for it. Okay, it's getting pretty interesting, getting pretty weird now. We're at a point where I can't describe any actual events that are taking place without really giving too much away. We're also, whilst at the same time we're at a plot where I don't really know what's going on here, like. But I'm involved. So I say it's interesting, like, you know, the story sort of pivoted a bit more to some other characters within it. But just as it was pivoting, it kind of showed that as the therapy was helping the Sabina character sort of understand the world a bit more and come to terms with the world around her, it's becoming increasingly apparent that the world around her is fucking weird. It's not just her, something's going on. And there's a shift going on. I'm feeling it. I legit have no idea where any of this is going. There's I don't know, I suppose you'd have to draw a bit of a comparison with something like David Lynch's Blue Velvet or Twin Peaks or something. More light-hearted than that, but very much around the world that has some weird shit going on underneath a very conventional American surface. Fucking bugs crawling under the garden. Pretty fucking unusual this at this point. The movie at this point is absolutely fucking nothing to do with the film that I thought it was gonna be from like the first quite long into the film I was watching this, and I didn't think it'd be whatever the fuck this is now. It's also done a really good job of explaining of raising the stakes and engaging yourself with these characters without really feeling the need to explain itself or explain their motivations. Like, it's fucking, I'm not rooting for who, fuck off Tony, I'm not rooting for who I thought I'd be rooting for at the start, and I'm not sure who I'm fucking rooting for. This is fucking off its head. It's fucking, I can feel a touch of the Coen brothers about it, with distant characters that don't really fit into any kind of archetype that you relate to, but you're following them on this journey. But I don't know, at times almost Charlie Kaufman-esque surreality. This shit is nuts. Fucking fucking hell. Well, that shit was entertaining as fuck. I fucking loved that. I had no idea what was going on from 1 minute to the next. Kept me guessing, kept me entertained, kept me laughing. There was some quite intense bits. Yeah, I wouldn't describe it as a horror film. You know, I went for it because it was on it's on Shudder. I believe it's on, I'm watching a VPN, but I believe it's on UK Shudder as well, so you can check it out there. I think there'll probably be some kind of rental option on Prime or some shit like that. But yeah, that was fucking wild. Yeah, fucking wouldn't describe it as a horror, more of a quirky, offbeat comedy, like. Fucking don't be expecting no straightforward A to B to C fucking hero's journey narrative. But yeah, fucking I'd recommend it for fans of the Coens. I'd recommend it for fans of certainly Jeremy Gardner's other work, all that kind of stuff there. But yeah, that was fucking brilliant. Fucking great film to kick off reviews and shit in 2021. Yeah, that's a 4 out of 5 film, easy for me, that one. But yeah, anyway, so I'll be doing more of these in the future, but for that's this one. That's Fingers on Shudder now, directed by Juan Ortiz. Be sure to follow us up on the socials. That's Sinister_Cinema on your Twitter and Sinister.Cinema on your Insta. Like, subscribe, all them YouTube things there. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought about the film. I do strongly recommend you watch it, so if you haven't seen it yet, then do that. Hey, I'm Kinell, safe.